Okay. Okay, to everyone joining me on YouTube this evening. I am waiting for the live audience to come in. The live audience on Zoom, they are not in as yet. So I'm only on YouTube starting this evening. YouTube. So welcome everyone. And blessings all. Okay, I'm gonna start with some music this evening. And maybe by the time I finish, I will have some people joining me on Zoom. Okay, so let me share. To share screen, but I don't know, so I'm not seeing anything to share the screen. Share screen. Okay. So let me start. We're gonna start with some music this evening for everyone who is here.
you choose? I am looking for love.
So choosing heaven today. And just want to welcome everyone. So let us just go into a moment of silence, and then I'll do our opening treatment. So in the stillness, we become aware of the one presence, the one power, expressing as each and every one of us. Indeed, it expresses through all creation. And we know within all creation, there's this consciousness of love, of light, of peace, of power. That's who we really are. So knowing that we are expressions of the one spirit, the one power, we rejoice and we give thanks for this knowing, for this awareness. So this evening, I just allow this power to speak through me. And I know it expresses through each and every one who participates in this evening's experience, which we call a spiritual mind healing service. So in this consciousness, I know that it is good and very, very good. So I rejoice. I just release these words, knowing that it is as I have spoken, and so it is. And so it is. And so welcome everyone. We're gonna do a participatory session to some extent this evening. It's kind of inspired by some practice that I have sort of gathered from Reverend John in terms of how we do our sessions at the Correctional Center, and inspired by practitioner Steve Golden, who I'm glad to see is online, who on Thursday evenings, I'm inviting everyone to join us in what we call our Thursday Forum. And what we'll be looking at, as I'll be looking at this evening, is spiritual principles. And well, not this week, but more likely next week, we'll be looking at heaven. So kind of that, given that this week, this month is our celebratory month at the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living. Today, I'm going to start off to look at what heaven and what it means to each and everyone who participates this evening. So you have a choice. You can either tell me or you can write it in the chat. So I'm going to give you some time just to contemplate a little and tell me, what is heaven to you? So if you want to speak it out, that's all right. Or if you want to share it in the chat. But I need to get from everyone, what is heaven to you? I don't see anybody, right? And same with those who are joining me on YouTube, you can write in the YouTube chat, what is heaven to you? And then I'll tell you from the Science of Mind perspective, what is heaven from that perspective. So, although you can take some time, but not too much time. So I like some people to start. You know, we can share what is heaven to you. Yes, it's something that must have crossed your mind. You know, what is it to you?
Oh. For me, it's an inner stillness and just alignment with beauty, love, joy. It's when I experience a baby. It's when I see a beautiful view. It's when I lie in bed at night with a sense of satisfaction about how the day went.
Mm-hmm.
It's the feeling of doing good work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I to me that's my experience of heaven.
Okay.
When
All right.
when I'm able to give is also one.
Yeah, you feel it when you're sharing and service. Okay, so we have Sandy. Don't let me start calling names. Who is coming in after that? Sandy. What is heaven to you?
You know, the quote from Yeshua, funny enough, I had a reason to look at it the other day, but I can't quite remember where it is. So I won't say the particular passage. If I find it, I will share it. Because I'm on the phone, so I can't use several devices where I am. But for me, heaven is like Yeshua said, neither low here nor low there. So when I think of heaven, I'm thinking literally of that secret place of the Most High within. So I find it a retreat, you know, a place of solace. You know, that old cliche of going within to the secret place of the Most High.
Yes.
And I find that meditation and quiet moments, generally speaking, become very reflective and allowing whatever comes to me from that space in the moment, you know, to be my heaven. So I believe for myself, you know, it is more that solace
Yes. All right. Who else? Carol Charlton said, freedom from every concern with a feeling of, what was the rest of it, Carol? From every concern with a feeling of total connection with my source. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So we have had Steve, Sandy, Carol Charlton, Carol Campbell. Yeah, I know somebody was going to say that. So Carol Campbell say it's Bombay mango. You had to explain that, Carol.
Well, Vance, pardon the typos. But I think you can figure out what to say.
Yeah, it's just that it's difficult for me to read the chat. If somebody could read the chat for me, because it's having some challenges, because this thing keep bringing up past chats.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll read it for you, Vance, because I'm here. I'm your host. So which one?
Thanks, Jen.
Carol says, okay, Vance, heaven is not only one thing. It could be a delicious Bombay mango, the satisfaction of a dream fulfilled, to give and receive love.
Yes.
In what this now, all its exquisitiveness, freedom. Yes. So I hope I got that right, Carol. And Leighton says, that sounds about right. Okay. And Leighton says, that was what was in my mind and heart before we spoke. And since I am unmuted, I'm not going to bother to type. For me, heaven is just how I was feeling when we went to the beach this weekend. You just feel at one with nature, the water, anything that brings on this feeling of connection, whether it's connecting with persons, connecting with nature. That's when I'm in heaven. And nothing beats a good slice of cake too, you know, cheesecake, hint, hint, heaven.
Okay. So that leaves Reverend Nisi as the only one that I haven't heard from. Reverend Nisi, what is heaven to you?
Let me look on YouTube.
Or she's not hearing. She's not here right now. Reverend Nisi, if you are here, you could unmute. Or she probably joined, but not here right now. Okay. Anything on YouTube, Jen?
Checking.
Okay. Okay, while Jen is checking, I'll tell you what our spiritual principles tell us in that resource that we are using for our Thursday forum. It tells us that heaven is the state of awareness of our true nature. We experience our true nature to the degree that we become conscious of it. We actively seek to know the true nature of every individual and celebrate each individual's unique expression of it. The experience of our true nature is sure to be attained by all.
Vance, from
Yes,
Elaine on YouTube, she says, state of mind or consciousness. I can choose to be in a state of peace, aligning with the will of God.
yes, yeah. So it is our awareness of our true nature. It is awakening to that true nature. I think that everybody was kind of hinting at it in some way. Probably Steve and Sandy went closest to it as stated in the principles. But it is, and it is just as Elaine stated in thing there, that it is a state of consciousness, and this month, Science of Mind magazine as well as several articles by Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse, and in two articles to share with you in terms of what he says about heaven also. And he's also looking at our principles, our declaration of principle. So that the first one is that we believe the kingdom of heaven is within, right? And he says that Ohm's understanding of the kingdom of heaven is a reframing of the idea that heaven is a place we go when we die, in alignment with the teachings of Jesus, which I think Steve was talking about, and this is from Luke 17, verse 21. He sees heaven, like Elaine, as a state of consciousness that is here and now and always available to us. Again, come back to that it is always available to us. Heaven is right here, right now, available to us. So he said that there is nothing outside of us. No, there's nothing outside of our resistance that separates us from our divine nature. So we have within our being the attributes of divine presence, peace, power, beauty, joy, love, light, and wisdom. So that our task then is to awaken to this consciousness of who we are, to awaken to that consciousness of heaven within us, so that we take personal responsibility. We have to take personal responsibility to become more aware of our divine nature through our spiritual practices, and to awaken to the heavenly harmony at the center of our being. So our daily practices then is to raise our consciousness of our divine nature. And when we come to that consciousness of heaven within, spiritual law tells us that as within, so without. When we attain that consciousness of our true divine nature, we manifest a life of peace, a life of love, a life of joy, right? We manifest what Dennis, Reverend Dr. Dennis Merritt Jones calls a life worth living, right? That is what we manifest when we have that consciousness of our true divine nature, that consciousness that there is a place within our consciousness, what Practice Steve called the secret place of the Most High. So how do we develop this consciousness? How do we develop this awareness? There's a song that says, I don't know if people would know this one. It's a gospel song. That's all you may not know. But there's a part, the title of the song is Sing Praises. And it says, one way, it said that when trouble take in your life, sing praises. And Reverend Sonia last week talked about that shift in consciousness that comes about through singing, through music. And that shift takes us away from the challenges and brings us back to that center, to that secret place of the Most High. And the psalmist, the psalmist also tell us that you must sing praises when you're feeling challenged and so on, right? Because that is spiritual law, right? Change your thinking, change your feeling, you change your experience. But the psalmist also says that when we are by the rivers of Babylon, right? And when we remember Zion, right? And we weep when we remember Zion. But the psalmist also shows us how to turn away from that by letting our words and our meditations be acceptable to the law, right? And when our words and our meditation are acceptable to the law, it shifts us from the place of challenges that what we may be facing and bring us into alignment with our true nature. So our practice is to become more aware of this true nature. And in spiritual principles and practices, they tell us one of the practices that help us to become more aware of our true nature is a practice they call self-awareness. And that is the practice of being conscious of our motivations, our inner dialogue, and to be conscious of our hidden beliefs so that we take responsibility for our internal and external choices. So that through self-awareness, it becomes the foundation for our conscious choice. So Practice Steve was telling us that one of the ways to become more self-aware is to go into the silence, right? Practicing just going into that place of being silent and listening. Bob Marley said that there's a voice inside of us which always tells us what is right, if we are just willing to listen. And learning to listen to that still small voice brings us more aware of who we are, right? Journaling is another method that helps us to become more aware of who we are, right? And another practice that helps us to develop this consciousness of heaven, gratitude. I would say giving thanks. And even just appreciating nature, that feeling that it brings. Just appreciating each other, appreciating when we show up and demonstrate our true nature. Just that appreciation and that gratitude. And we can do in our journaling, also do acts of gratitude, writing down like 3 to 5 things we are grateful for each day. And that helps to develop this consciousness of heaven. And of course, there are several others, but I want to speak about one more. Compassion, right? Compassion is, in spiritual principles, they tell us that compassion is the practice of joining personal responsibility with social conscience for the good of all. And 2 practices that help us to develop compassion more is forgiveness, right? Releasing any hurts, judgment, condemnation, looking for the good in people, not to criticize persons, but to encourage, to appreciate each other, and sacred service. So those are the ways that we can develop this consciousness of who we are, and this consciousness to be able to turn to that place within us of peace, love, joy, grace, of our true spiritual nature whenever we encounter challenges, whether of health, finances, right? Of challenges in terms of decision making, challenges in terms of finances. If we turn within to that place, and by doing these practices to become more aware of our true nature, right? Then the heaven within becomes our experiences in life, and it manifests as a life. As Dennis Merritt Jones said, a life worth living, a life of joy, a life of fulfillment, a life of sharing, right? A life of service, a life of prosperity and abundance. So, any comments or what I want to add to the sharing?
Just to touch on one thing that you said,
Mm-hmm.
when you were talking about the rivers of Babylon.
Yes.
I know you said acceptable to the law.
Yes.
Right, I know you do. I know you use the word law deliberately instead of Lord.
Yeah.
But many of us, with a Christian upbringing, or certainly a religious upbringing, experience the word Lord as someone, Lord God,
Yes.
Lord Jesus, etc., etc. And so when we speak of something being acceptable to the Lord, it could have a hint of the external,
Right.
And in this context, based on what you are here saying, the word acceptable, I believe, could be replaced by the phrase in keeping with.
Okay, yeah.
So let my practice be in keeping with the nature of the law, which is always tending to goodness.
Right.
The law always says yes, but our righteousness of the law,
right,
affords us the facility, to allow things to manifest in keeping with goodness. So just I thought I would touch on that because of how you use the phrase.
Yeah, man, thank you. I remember that Ernest Holmes tells us, that we should turn away from the condition, the discordant condition, right? So that by putting our practices in accordance with the law, it turns us away from focusing on the discordant conditions and more focusing on that we have the power, right? We have the capacity. We can pray and get the guidance to overcome any challenges we may be facing. Right. Anybody else? No more comments? Okay. There's something in the chat, Jen.
Yes, it's Carol saying good point, Steve.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that is true. That is true. All right. Okay, so if there are no more things, we move into our prayer requests. Any
Can put those in the chat, please.
Yeah, put them in the chat. And Practice Jen will tell me what are they. And if any on YouTube, they can also put them in the chat. And then Practice Jen will relay them to me. And again, if you want to further develop on this sharing this evening, Thursday forum, 7 to 9 p.m. every Thursday, right? I think the link was sent out by the temple. So I could ask Reverend Ann to send it out again. So we are looking at putting spiritual principles into practice. Harold, you were saying something? I said, Carol, I see you have your mic open. I was wondering if you're saying something.
Which Carol?
Charlton.
No.
Okay. I said
First request, prayer of gratitude and thanksgiving in all things. I assume that is coming from you, Carol Campbell.
Yeah, that's coming from Carol Campbell, yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Please put in one for right action for me. I am going out of country tomorrow for a few weeks.
Okay, so Carol Charlton, right action in traveling. Okay, so those are it. And Reverend Anna asked me to do a treatment of prosperity for Paulette.
That's it for now, Vance. I'm not seeing anything on YouTube just yet.
Okay. So let's start with giving thanks. So we recognize the one power, the one presence, knowing itself as each and every one of us. That power giving itself as that love that expresses through each and every one of us, through all creation. That love that expresses as that grace, which is our all sufficiency, all that we require has already been provided. So we open our hearts and our minds to this awareness and just allow this consciousness of gratitude, of appreciation, to just fill our conscious awareness now. And we say, thanks for the gifts of nature, for all that we require in any situation, for that the divine guidance at the center of our being, for the heaven within our conscious awareness, that recognition of who we are. Perfect God, perfect expression. This is truly glorious. This is truly wonderful. So with great joy, I say thanks. And I release these words to that law that manifests this givingness in our experience. And I know that this is so. And so it is. So in this consciousness of the self-knowingness of spirit through each and every one of us, I know that we are each divinely guided. And I know that this is true for Carol Charlton as she goes on her journeys. So I know that this divine guidance guides her to know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. This divine guidance allows her to relate to everyone she meets from this place of knowing, from this place of light. Her path is clear. So our voyage is enjoyable. And for this, I am truly, truly thankful. So I know that all is well and that she's exceptionally cared for on this journey. So I give thanks. I give thanks. And I just release these words to that law that makes it so. and so it is. So in this consciousness, of our divine source and infinite supply that provides all that we require, I know that everything that Pauline requires is provided. And I know that as our awareness expands into this consciousness, all that she requires manifests into our conscious experience. Knowing that spirit is our all-sufficiency. I know that every good thing is provided. So I give thanks, and I know that everyone who just allow this awareness, this consciousness of abundance to permeate their hearts and their minds, experience all the goodness of God in their life and affairs. It is good and very good. So I just release these words now, knowing that it is as I have spoken, and so it is.
And so it is.
Okay, so that is our treatment. I'm just
Okay.
gonna share.
So I'm sorry, you have 2 more to go.
Okay.
Lord. A prayer for love and protection from Cheryl on YouTube. And Leighton has 2 requests. Treat for completion of his NY vouchers so he can be paid this week for work done. And treatment of gratitude for the return in communication with my daughter and no divine protection, peace and harmony and prosperity for her. So you could do Cheryl for me for prayer for love and protection.
Yes.
And,
all right.
And then you do Leighton.
And also, not only the vouchers, but also the work that I have to do on time and in order. And I would just like to say thank you for the treatment that was done for me to communicate with my daughter. That was done, and that just came through the next day, and it has been going well. So I'm now asking for treatment for her protection. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, all right. Yeah, thank you, Leighton. And I will do that. You say Cheryl Jennifer?
Yes, protection and love.
Okay. Well, love covers protection, so I'll just do
I'm just
love.
telling you as the request is written.
I know. For Cheryl. So we know that God is love. That love, which is a self-givingness of spirit, as our divine essence. That love within each one of us. That love that provides this knowing that we are cared for, that all is well. That love that guides us into the paths of righteousness of the law. That love that fulfills the law. So in this love, all is well. In this love, we are exceptionally cared for. This love is beyond our human understanding. But we feel it, we express it as acts of kindness, of acts of sharing, of acts of support. And I know that all of these manifest into Cheryl's experience. She is cared for. She is loved. She's an expression of this divine love. And I know that this is true for all of us and for everyone who just allows this love to fill their conscious awareness. All is well. It's all good. So I just release these words now to that law that makes it so. And so it is. So I'm knowing that Leighton, as all of us, is an individualized expression of the infinite. I know that the infinite is knowing itself through this infinite expression in all creation. So in this awareness, I know that the manifest universe is a logical and necessary outcome of this infinite self-knowingness. And in this awareness, I know that right action is established in Leighton's life and affairs. Knowing that Leighton is an individualized expression of the One, knowing that he's guided and directed. All that needs to take place in his life and his affairs unfold in divine order. And all is well. All is well in his relationships, with his family, with his clients, and with everyone who he meets. And everything unfolds in divine order, in the fullness of time. It is good. It is very good. I just release these words now to that law that makes it so. And so it is.
So it is as God glorifies himself in each and every one of us. Thank you, Lance. Thank you.
Yes, Leighton, thank you. Thank you.
We are in heaven.
Yes. Yes. So I'm just gonna share the Jen, are there any more requests?
Well, I see Carol saying thanksgiving and gratitude, but she did ask for it in all things because she's saying for continued expression of perfect health. But if you are grateful for all things, I think it includes the health.
Oh,
don't know if she wants it specially for that.
He asked for it.
Oh, wholeness. You want a treatment of wholeness, Carol?
Continued expression of perfect health.
With thanksgiving and gratitude.
I'm giving thanks for the continued expression of perfect health.
Okay. So so it was a treatment of gratitude then.
Yes, for the continued expression of
perfect health. Yeah. Yeah. So we give thanks. We give thanks, knowing that at the center of our being, center of all creation, is this perfect life, perfect, whole, complete. I know this life expresses through Carol and through everyone. But Carol just allows this gratitude for this wholeness in our physical being and in all aspects of being, to just fill our consciousness now. And as it fills the consciousness of everyone who gives thanks for this perfection at the center of our being, which manifests as perfect health in our life and in our affairs. So we give thanks, we rejoice, we sing praises. I just release these words in joy, in gratitude. I am of gratitude, saying thanks, saying thanks. And so it is. All right.
So it is. Thank you, Vance.
Yeah. Yes, Carol, I know that you're a singer.
Have to do it.
So sing praises.
Oh.
And perfect health. Perfect health. Like it said. All right, so I'm gonna do another sharing of announcements and reminders. So next week, on July 21st at 6 p.m., we'll be having another spiritual mind healing service with Dr. Tamu Davidson, a practitioner at the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living. So join Tamu. I know she'll have a very interesting topic and a wonderful service for us. So join Stuart Maxwell Fridays at 9 to 10 a.m. for Tai Chi, right? A wonderful, it's a spiritual practice which involves movement, and the contribution is $2,000 per person. It is a great method of healing, Tai Chi. Oh, before this though, on Sunday, you're about to join us for our service at 9 a.m. in our sanctuary at 46 Fairway Avenue, right? Or you can join us on YouTube. Reverend Michelle Senegal will be our main speaker on Sunday. And also, but if you need prayer support is available with Reverend Dr. Michelle Senegal at prayer.templeoflightcsl.org, or you can speak with a practitioner at 876-494-9000. Now, tithes and offering. If you wish to support our ministry financially, we have payment options available in both Jamaica and US dollar US dollar donations. And you can go to donate.templeoflightcsl.org. And if you are about to donate, you can just say the offering. Lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase, and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all my financial affairs. So be it. Thank you, Father. And so it is. Okay. So I'm going to ask you just to join me now in the prayer for our center. Feel free to open your mics and join me. Right? The Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly, along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and the glory forever. And so it is. Sorry, I just need, excuse me, one moment. So you can join me for the prayer for Jamaica. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so it is. So please just join me for this closing affirmative prayer. So we give thanks. Give thanks for everyone who participated this evening. I know that everyone who participates did increase their conscious awareness of our true nature, that heaven within us, that place of peace, love, joy, grace, and all that is good. So I know that our lives are fulfilling. And as we leave this place, we increase our awareness of why we are here at this time and our awareness of who we are. And we play our part in the manifesting of heaven on earth, a world that truly works for everyone, a life of fulfillment for everyone throughout all creation. This goal is sure to be attained by all. So we live with this awareness. We live in this consciousness of oneness, of heavenly harmony. So I give thanks for this experience this evening. It is good and very good. And so it is.
And so it is.
So thank you all again for coming.
And thank you, Vance.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I know that.
Thank you, Vance.
Thanks.